Managers, and welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video I'm going to go through my team selection for game week 30. So I'm going to talk about captaincy, transfer plans, possible use of my chips later down the line. So if you enjoy this sort of video, if you find it useful, please give it a like, don't forget to subscribe, and in the meantime, let's get into it. So let's have a quick recap of game week 29. What a horrific, weird, strange week it was. I know it was a high number of people that free hit. I think it was a record number of managers free hit, and it would have been just an absolute disaster for the most part. For someone who didn't free hit, you know, I sit here quite humble and just think, wow, it could have been so much worse. And I'm kind of grateful that I didn't get burnt as much as I possibly could. I think the nature of being a fantasy manager is I always look on what could have been. Taylor and Areola were very close to getting a clean sheet, and wow, what a difference that would have made. I don't think anyone would have brought Taylor in on their free hit, so he would have been huge. As it was, it was just went down about 3,000, 5k I think I went down, which I'm absolutely thrilled with. Brought Madison in, he didn't return, but I decided to just run with 8 players and not take a hit. And you know what, that was I'm grateful for that, and that was really good news. So onwards and upwards, 16 points. Who'd have thought that I'd be thrilled with that? And we're just going to move on to game week 30. I know a lot of people will just be, I don't know, disconsolate or not depressed with the game, but a little bit frustrated with it. As much as I was when I used my free hit in 25, I know how you're feeling, but onwards and upwards, let's look forward to game week 30. And my side looks pretty decent, I have to say. I've only got a wild card. I say I've only got a wild card. I have a wild card left to play. My intentions are that the side looks really good, and it was always planned this way, is I've got 3 Tottenham players, and I've got Son, Madison and Porro. They got such a good fixture. I'm able to bench Saka. I've taken out my Man City players. So no Haaland, Foden or Ake anymore. I've kept my Arsenal players. I've got Gabriel and Saka. But the rest of the side looks really good. Palmer's in there. Solanke, obviously, he's got a decent fixture. So I'm pretty happy with the way that side looks at the moment. Morris away at Tottenham, not the greatest fixture, but I'm going to go with him over Saka, possibly away at Man City. So the side looks decent. I'm no need to wildcard in 31. I've already got my eye on 34, though. There's obviously a double game week in 34. 7 teams doubling, and I have at currently 4 players that have got double game week fixtures. So I got 4 transfers in order to get another 4. So if I can get to game week 34 without any injuries or worries like that, with 4 more transfers, I can get up to 8 without any hits, and then I intend to wildcard in 35, ready for all the doubles in 37 and 36, where Chelsea and Tottenham should have a double as well. So I'm almost going to get rid of those Tottenham players in the meantime and then bring them back in after. That's the plan anyway. If it could go horribly wrong, I could have 1 or 2 players get injured, in which case I'm going to end up with less than 8. I don't think, the gut feeling is that would force me to wildcard. I'm pretty much set on the fact that I'm going to wildcard on 35 and get as many players as I can moving forward to game week 34. The priority for me then in game week 30, the team looks decent for 30, it looks decent for 31, but I do want to make some changes. I'll have 2 transfers in 31 if I roll. I could go straight for Mo Salah now. Now Mo Salah's absolutely, with the fixtures they've got, I just think I have to bring in Liverpool. They have a double. I think it's Fulham and Everton away in 34. They've got Brighton at home this week. It's not a bad game for an attacking Liverpool player. Sheffield United at home next week looks brilliant. Even though they lost in the FA Cup away to Man United, we know they can go there and score goals. And then Palace at home. So 3 of the next 4 are at home for Liverpool. Salah just has to come in. I'm not sure I need to bring him in this week. That's my sort of that's my kind of decision I think to make. I don't think I want to bring out, because he would have to probably come in for Son, and Son's got Luton at home. I don't think Brighton at home is a better fixture for Salah than Son. I'm not sure. I'm just going to roll that transfer. The other player that I'm possibly looking at again, he's got a flag on him at the moment, is Darwin Núñez. I mean, his underlying stats just been brilliant all year. He does have a flag though, so I need to keep an eye on him and look at press conferences. But again, because of the fact they got double in 34, because they got such good fixtures, I'm definitely going to want him for that Sheffield United game. and I'd bring out Ollie Watkins for that. But again, this week, Watkins has got Wolves at home. I'm just not sure whether Darwin at home to Brighton with a flag on is a lot better than Watkins. So maybe just holding fire on that transfer, rolling it, give me a bit more information, and look at bringing in Nunez in 31 if he's fit and available. So those are the two Liverpool players I'm looking at. I mean, Diaz is definitely on the radar. Bradley is another option as well, but I need information about Trent. The other one that I'm just looking at as well, it's just come from kind of, I say nowhere, it's a bit harsh to say that for him, but Kai Havertz is getting a lot of time in minutes. Started the last 6, he's playing up front, listed as a midfielder, and he's got 8 returns in the last 6 games. He's got Luton at home next week. That just looks like a brilliant fixture. I'm not particularly interested in bringing him away at City. That just doesn't feel like the right time to bring him in, because he'd probably have to come in again for someone like Maddison, who with Luton at home just makes no sense. So for this week, he's just going to be a hold or put on the watch list. But Kai Havertz looks brilliant. The fact he's 7.2 just is like the cherry on the cake. He's just, again, he's a bit of a differential at the moment. I'd love to see him just, I don't know, in the back of my mind, I do feel that this Jesus sat there on the wings, Trossard can play up front as well. Just feels that just maybe, if things aren't going Arsenal's way, then there could possibly be a change there. But obviously, he's been playing so well lately, scoring so many goals. He just looks like a fantastic option. So for game week 31, the side, I think, rolling for 30 would be the plan. And then for 30, for game week 31, Salah comes in, as we can see on the screen. So he would come in, Son would come out. It'd still give me quite a bit of cash to play with. And then I can decide what I'm going to do. Am I going to go Watkins to Darwin? That could be definitely an option, because Watkins' fixtures turn. They don't have a double on 34. And Darwin would do. I could decide to take cash out and go to Bradley. But again, if we learn news about Trent coming back, then that's obviously a no-brainer. And the other thing that's in the back of my mind as well is Haaland. Haaland does have a double later on. He doesn't have a double in game week 34, so that puts me off. He's got Villa at home, then he's got Palace away, and I don't mind not having him for those. But the fact they've got Luton as well. They've got Luton at home, and I'm not sure I want to be without him for that Luton game. It feels really dangerous. It would be brave, but I feel like I can go without him against Arsenal, Villa at home, Palace away, but then that Luton at home fixture. But I can make a decision nearer the time as to go to Haaland. The problem is with him, I'm losing a double game week player if I do play him, but he could really hurt me, I think, with the Luton fixture. But I know between European games, that could play a part as well. So I am tempted to go without Haaland until game week 35. And that's not something I've done before, and it's not something that makes me 100% comfortable. But then again, I don't know. Home to Villa, I don't think that's an easy game. Away at Palace, again, that's not an easy game, but home to Luton feels like a real disaster waiting to happen. But those are the plans. I think I'm going to roll this current game week, look into captain Son. I think if I brought Salah in, I'd definitely captain him, but I don't think Son's a worse option. And then roll, and then look at using at least one of my transfers in game week 31, possibly both, to take advantage of Sheffield United at home fixture, or Havertz coming in for Arsenal. If I'm going to take a hit to get an extra double game week player in for 34, maybe 31's the time to do it. Maybe I'll go Havertz, Salah and Darwin, just because it gives me more games. Just because the fixtures are so good for them, why not do it early? So I've got some decisions to make, and I haven't got a lot of time in between games to make it. Darwin's fitness is going to be one thing, and also just checking on rotation. But those are my plans for game week 30, 31 and the wild card to go in 35. That's it for this one then. Let me know in the comments below if there's anyone I've overlooked or any players that you are definitely going to bring in for your fantasy challenge team. Game week 30, the very first week and launch of this whole fantasy challenge adventure that we're going on. So I will come back at you next week with my team for game week 31. Let me know in the comments below how you got on, and good luck with game week 30. Shall speak to you soon.